Not everyone deserves your help, and the worst part is that the Bible warns us about this. Imagine this. You are doing your best, trying hard to help others, to offer support when they need it. But have you ever stopped to think whether everyone truly deserves it? There are people who will not only take your help, but also drain your energy, manipulate your kindness, and without you realizing it, lead you away from your purpose. It's sad, but it's true. Sometimes, in our desire to do good, we end up caught in a web of emotional exhaustion, frustration, and disappointment. We try to save those who do not want to be saved, and all we end up doing is paying a high price for it. But the Bible gives us clear warnings. It tells us whom we should help and whom we should avoid at all costs. Today, you will discover the 8 types of people you should not help, according to the Bible. Some of these signs may seem familiar to you. Perhaps they remind you of someone close. Or maybe as you listen, you'll realize you've been wasting your time and energy on people who have no intention of changing. But the most shocking part comes at the end, because the last type of person is the most dangerous and often the hardest to recognize. So stay with me until the end, because once you discover this, you'll understand many things you didn't see before. And if lately you've felt like your energy is being drained for no reason, or like you help others but never receive the same in return, this video is for you. Don't forget to subscribe and activate the bell to continue discovering hidden truths that can change your life. Now let's begin. The Bible teaches us that compassion and helping others are fundamental values of spiritual life. In multiple passages, we are called to reach out to those in need, to practice charity, and to act with love and generosity. However, it also warns us that not all help is welcomed or well used. There are people who, far from seeking growth, take advantage of others' kindness and lead their helpers down a path of exhaustion and frustration. Proverbs 14:7 tells us, "Stay away from a fool, for you will not find knowledge on their lips." This verse reveals a great truth. Some people, in their stubbornness and unwillingness to change, reject wisdom and drag down those who try to guide them. Helping someone who does not want to be helped is like pouring water into a broken sack. Jesus himself warned us about this in Matthew 7:6. "Do not give what is holy to dogs. Do not throw your pearls to pigs. If you do, they may trample them under their feet and turn and tear you to pieces." This verse is not a call to indifference, but to discernment. Not everyone will value the help they are given. Some will despise it and even use that generosity against the one who offered it. A clear example of this warning is found in the story of King Jehoshaphat. He was a just and God-fearing king, but he made the mistake of forming an alliance with the wicked King Ahaziah. This decision, made with the intent of helping and strengthening a political relationship, ended in disaster. God disapproved of the alliance, and the business venture they embarked on together failed, leaving Jehoshaphat in a compromised position. His story shows us that helping the wrong person can have consequences that affect not just our lives, but our spiritual destiny. That is why we must be wise when deciding whom to help. It is not about closing our hearts, but about discerning when our help will be a true contribution and when it will only serve to fuel harmful attitudes. Now let's look at the 8 types of people the Bible says we should not help. The first on our list is the fool. The Bible repeatedly warns us about these kinds of people. those who reject wisdom and scorn advice, no matter how many times they are offered help. Proverbs 26:4-5 says, "Do not answer a fool according to his folly, or you yourself will be just like him. Answer a fool according to his folly, or he will be wise in his own eyes." This passage contains a powerful lesson. Arguing with a fool, trying to reason with him, is like talking to a wall. No matter how much proof or how many suggestions you give them, they remain locked in their own perspective with no intention of changing. In today's world, we see this type of person everywhere. Maybe you know someone who always asks for advice but never follows it, who complains about their problems but finds excuses not to act when offered a solution. These are the people who fall into the same mistakes again and again, and instead of learning, they blame others or fate. Think about it for a moment. How many times have you tried to help someone only to realize that in the end, nothing changed? Maybe it was a friend who kept getting into toxic relationships, and even though you warned them, they went back to the same person. Or maybe someone who constantly complains about their job, but when you offer them alternatives, they respond with a yes, but followed by an excuse. Jesus himself taught us to share the truth, but also warned us not to waste our energy on those unwilling to receive it. When he sent his disciples to preach, he told them in Matthew 10:14, "If anyone will not welcome you or listen to your words, leave that home or town and shake the dust off your feet." The message is clear. We cannot help someone who does not want to be helped. Trying to save a fool will only waste your time, energy, and peace of mind. Has this ever happened to you? Do you know someone like that? Leave it in the comments. The second type of person the Bible warns us not to help is the sluggard. These are people who, instead of striving to improve their situation, prefer to live off the generosity of others without contributing anything in return. Proverbs 19:15 tells us, "Laziness brings on deep sleep, and the shiftless go hungry." This verse gives us a clear teaching. Laziness not only blocks progress, but inevitably leads to ruin. It's important to distinguish between someone who truly needs help, someone who has gone through hardship and is trying to get back on their feet despite obstacles beyond their control, and someone who takes advantage of others' kindness with no intention of changing. In everyday life, these people are easy to spot. Maybe you know someone who always has financial problems, but instead of looking for a job or creating income, just waits for others to fix their life. They always have an excuse. Life is hard. No one gives me opportunities. I'm just unlucky. But when offered a solution, they never take it. A clear example in the Bible is the case of the Israelites in the desert. God provided them with manna from heaven as daily sustenance, but gave a clear instruction. Everyone had to go out and collect their portion. Exodus 16:4-5. However, some wanted to hoard it so they wouldn't have to work later, or hoped others would do it for them. God did not allow this behavior, teaching that divine provision is not an excuse for laziness. In 2 Thessalonians 3:10, the Apostle Paul gives an even stronger teaching. "If anyone is not willing to work, let him not eat." This doesn't mean we shouldn't help the needy. It means we shouldn't support those who simply refuse to do anything for themselves. Helping a sluggard won't help them grow. It only reinforces their dependent attitude, and in the process, you end up draining yourself for nothing. True help is not about always giving, but about teaching people to stand on their own. Luke 17:17 to 18 gives us a powerful lesson about gratitude. Jesus responded, "Were not 10 cleansed? Where are the other 9? Was no one found to return and give glory to God except this foreigner?" This passage recounts how Jesus healed 10 lepers, but only one returned to thank him. The other 9 simply went on their way, enjoying their miracle without acknowledging the hand that had healed them. This is the essence of ingratitude, receiving without recognizing or valuing the effort of the one who helps. In everyday life, we see this constantly. People who ask for favors and receive support, but never show the slightest gesture of gratitude. They are the ones who, instead of saying thank you, say, "What else can you do for me?" They are never satisfied, always expecting more, and when they can no longer get anything from you, they disappear without acknowledging what they have received. The lack of gratitude has a devastating impact on human relationships. When someone continuously helps an ungrateful person, there comes a point when fatigue and frustration take over their heart. Given without receiving even a simple acknowledgement not only exhausts you physically, but also emotionally. That is why the Bible teaches us to help with discernment. Jesus did not stop healing, but neither did he insist that the 9 lepers return. He did not chase the ungrateful, nor beg them to thank him. This leaves us a great lesson. If you give something from the heart and it is not valued, do not keep giving in the same place. Helping an ungrateful person will only end up draining your energy and leaving you feeling empty. If someone does not value what you give, maybe it's time to reserve your generosity for those who will. The 6th type of person the Bible warns us not to help is the wicked and cruel. Those who not only reject kindness, but act with evil intentions that can harm you. Psalm 37:9 says, "For evildoers shall be cut off, but those who wait for the Lord shall inherit the land." This verse warns us that wickedness has no prosperous future, but it also reminds us to stay away from those who act with bad intentions. We cannot help someone who lives in darkness and delights in it. One of the most common mistakes is to believe that every person has something good inside and that with enough love and patience we can change their heart. But the Bible warns us that some people exist only for evil. They deceive, destroy, and betray without any remorse. Helping someone like that is not only useless, it's dangerous. In daily life, these types of people may appear in many forms. It could be a coworker who constantly tries to sabotage you, a relative who enjoys seeing you suffer, or even a friend who betrays you without a second thought. They are people who do not seek redemption, but rather a benefit at the expense of others. A clear biblical example of this is the story of Samson and Delilah in Judges 16:4-21. Samson, a strong man chosen by God, fell into Delilah's trap. She pretended to love him, but she had no good intentions. Everything she did was with the purpose of betraying him and delivering him to his enemies. Blinded by love and trust, Samson revealed his greatest secret and lost his strength, his freedom, and his purpose. This story leaves us with a powerful lesson. We cannot save someone who does not want to be saved, and trusting someone cruel can cost us dearly. Helping a wicked person will not change them. On the contrary, it will give them more tools to cause harm. That is why it is essential to discern whom we help and to protect our energy from those whose hearts are filled with darkness. The seventh type of person the Bible warns us not to help is the idolater of money and power. Those who do not seek truth or spiritual growth, but only their own benefit, regardless of whom they have to trample to get it. 1 Timothy 6:10 gives us a powerful warning. For the love of money is a root of all kinds of evil. Some people, eager for money, have wandered from the faith and pierced themselves with many griefs. This verse does not say that money itself is bad, but rather the excessive love for it, the obsession with gaining wealth and power at any cost. People dominated by greed are incapable of valuing love, friendship, or sincere help. They see others as tools, as steps on their ladder to success. In daily life, these people can appear in many ways. They are the ones who only approach you when they have something to gain, those who pretend to be your friends while you're useful, but disappear when they can no longer get anything from you. They sell their own integrity for a momentary gain, using others as pawns in their game of ambition. A clear biblical example of someone consumed by greed is Judas Iscariot. Despite having walked with Jesus, heard his teachings, and witnessed his miracles, his heart was trapped by the love of money. For 30 silver coins he betrayed the Master, delivering him to those who wanted to destroy him. Matthew 26:14-16. But his gain was short-lived. Filled with remorse, Judas tried to return the money, but it was too late. His ambition led him to a tragic end. This story gives us a clear lesson. When someone is obsessed with money and power, their soul becomes insatiable. They will never have enough, and their greed will lead them to ruin. If you try to help someone like that, you'll be pouring yourself into a bottomless pit. Greed is a trap that consumes the spirit and distances people from what truly matters. That's why, if someone values money more than people, walk away. Because no matter how much you try to help them, it will never be enough. The last type of person the Bible warns us not to help is undoubtedly the most dangerous of all. The one who disguises themselves as a friend, but is an enemy in the shadows. They are those who come with kind words, smiles, and promises of loyalty, but in their hearts there is only deceit and betrayal. 2 Corinthians 11:14-15 warns us about this kind of person with a striking phrase, and no wonder, for even Satan disguises himself as an angel of light. So it is no surprise if his servants also disguise themselves as servants of righteousness. Their end will correspond to their deeds. This verse teaches us that the most dangerous enemy is not always the one you see coming, but the one who hides behind a smile. Traitors do not show their true face at first. They infiltrate your life, gain your trust, make you believe they are on your side, and when you least expect it, they stab you in the back. In daily life, these people may appear in many ways. Perhaps it's a friend who's always around during the good times, but disappears when you need them. Or someone who pretends to be your ally, but speaks badly about you behind your back. They may also be those who, with hidden envy, try to sabotage you without you even noticing. A perfect biblical example of this type of person is Absalom, the son of David, 2 Samuel. For years, Absalom pretended to be a good son and a loyal servant of his father. He gained the people's trust, spoke with them at the city gates, and slowly planted the idea that he would be a better king than his father. Finally, when he had enough support, he betrayed his own father and led a rebellion against him. David, the great king of Israel, had to flee for his life, betrayed by his own son, the one he had trusted. This story gives us a powerful teaching. The worst betrayals don't come from enemies, but from those we trust the most. How can we recognize them before it's too late? They are people who say they support you, but never genuinely celebrate your successes. They praise you in public, but criticize you behind your back. They're always around when they can get something from you, but ignore you when there's nothing to gain. They make you feel guilty or insecure, using their closeness to manipulate you. If you try to help someone like that, all you'll do is give them more opportunities to hurt you, because they are not looking to grow or improve. They are just looking for an advantage. The most dangerous enemy is not the one who attacks you openly, but the one who disguises themselves as a friend and stabs you when you least expect it. If you made it this far, I want you to comment, "Now I see clearly." This will let me know that this message resonated with you and that you are one of the chosen who seeks the truth.